Hello, guys. I don't know what's happening, but the whole video for some reason was like, I don't know what's going on. Why was it glitching like that? What's happening? Sorry about that, guys, but that was odd. How you guys doing? How was your Wednesday? And even the you see the strip, it goes like hold on. How am I gonna do this? I want to fix that. It's just odd, don't you think? Yeah, probably OBS. I don't know. It is always something. Oh, let's see. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me fix the music is double, but it's okay. Hey guys. Always fun stuff I encounter while streaming. Wait, where is it? It's hilarious. Anyways, I have pixels. Yeah, exactly. Wait, what happens if I do this? If I do off overlays? And the chat is there, so interesting. So, because YouTube changed something about its layout of the streaming setup. Oh, there you go. Okay, it's gone. Perfect. I don't want to see the glitchiness. Yeah, usually, so I have this cool feature when I can click on your chat and it pops up. Now I cannot do that for some reason, because I can no longer get the link, but that's different. It's okay. I will shout out your comments. Today we're going to talk about the Harry Potter on HBO series, the new cast that has been announced. We only have six actors, and that's what we're going to discuss. We're going to check out who they are, get familiar, see which projects they've been in before, and yeah, kind of gonna explore on this. But how you guys doing? First of all, I want to chat with y'all. It's been a while since I did my own streams. LED sign over there. Oh yeah, yes. Here's one. I like LED signs. Also, I haven't... Sorry, my... the keytar is there, kind of in the way. It usually isn't behind me. Yes, exactly. Twice the jazz band makes it twice as spicy. Exactly. It's like a nice reverb. It's fine. Maybe not. I don't know. you let me know. I can turn it off, but I feel like I usually have it so low that you can kind of forget about it. But welcome, Support Crow. Welcome, Jeremy, Blue, G. Oh, yeah, G. I feel like it's G. G-I? Jai? How you guys doing? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's we're kind of in a downtime, don't you think? Since, Hogwarts Legacy, Hogwarts Legacy has been Hogwarts Legacy right now. I don't know what that means though. Meaning like we have the mods, we're exploring that. Sequel is far away. And so yeah, it's odd. It's not exactly like it was when we had absolutely nothing. Before Hogwarts Legacy came out, it was such a such a weird times. You know, we were thinking that it's gonna happen or not gonna happen. Is it gonna get canceled? Stuff like that. And right now, it's more like we're kind of fed with fed. We have Hogwarts Legacy, one way or the other. We can come back to it, and while we wait, we at least have something. Gaming, we'll see. Maybe this week, because there's so many mods are popping out. Like almost every day, like every week they announce that they bring new mods, and they're so awesome. I have yet to try them, so we're gonna be maybe doing some of that. Magic games. Well, in general, Magic games, I think there's a lot. Depends what kind of magic you're looking for. See, for example, I did like Avowed, so you can cast spells there with actual wands, and it's pretty cool. Hey, Bad Bunny, how's it going? Red Dead Redemption 2. I still haven't played Red Dead Redemption at all. I kind of wanna, like, I don't know, sometimes. So, like, I've been playing a lot of games where you are involved emotionally and mentally in terms of when it's an RPG, you know, you have the talents, you get, you know, you are doing stuff, you're busy with taking care of your character, doing side missions and stuff. But sometimes I kind of want to just, you know, play a brainless game, if that makes sense, you know, where I don't have to really pay attention to anything, just have just kind of simple fun, like whether it's a shooter or a racer, where I don't have to take care about upgrading my gear or the talents or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? How do I feel about DLC cancellation? Not great. I mean, I feel like I'm already content about it. We have the definitive answer about it, and it is what it is. It sucks. I wish we had something new, but we'll just wait for the sequel, and I feel like that way it will be a bigger, you know, we'll hit better not having any new content for a long period of time. Yeah, that's when you go kill spiders and yeah, kinda, yeah. Or even like, so I don't know if you're playing Quidditch Champions, but that's sometimes what I do, because in Quidditch Champions you don't really, there's no story, there's some upgrades to the brooms, but they're very minimal, and it's just simple fun. So sometimes I get back to it. Oblivion Remaster. Oh yeah, I saw that there's a new poster about it. They are doing something new to Oblivion. Not a poster, a post. Anyways. Hold on. Let me actually check something real quick. Just because I want to refresh my mind about who do we have in general already working on the TV series, on Harry Potter series. TV. Potter. I had Harry Potter. Okay, that's not helpful. Anyways, we're gonna jump into we're taking a look at the new cast. In just a second. Where did that go? Hey, Scottish Craig, how's it going? How are you doing? because we still have a lot of a lot of actors to cast, because the main trio is still in question. Maybe they're even gonna keep it a secret until the very end. Who knows? I don't know why would they, but I feel like we still have some time until that happens. Okay, let me ask. Well, we'll get to that. We'll discuss all of it. But the thing is, I think it's important to kind of, set your not necessarily expectations, but kind of an approach to the series that, we have the movies. And they will always be dear to our heart, and they will always be there. The TV series are, I don't think they're meant to try to replicate or try to match the movies in any capacity, whether it's a set, whether it's the pacing, the scene choice, that goes for the actors as well, of course. It's not the job of the TV series. The TV series is going to be bringing a new vision of the Harry Potters, of the books. And so, I think it's important to kind of keep that in mind, that it wants to be its own thing. And while there will be some deviations from the original source, I think at the end of the day, we can just first take a look at it and then judge for what it's going to be. Because to me, I do want to see a different new takes on the story. I do want to see new interpretations, and because we already know the whole story. We know what scenes are going to be there, what is going to happen exactly, who is the villain, who are all the bad guys. We know all the plot twists of the story, right? So I think, at least for me, I want to see new takes on this. That's interesting. How do you still see me? That's okay. Okay. So, and the deviation from the books, that didn't stop the directors, the producers to do that in the movies as well. I'm not trying to gaslight in that regard, but that always that happens. You have the source material, but then the creators, when they bring it into the screen, it changes. So I take it, even the certain descriptions, it's up to the showrunners to, they have their vision, how they want to make things happen, how they want to, not spice things up, so to say, but how they see the story appear on the screen. And we will have to see how it plays out. Hey, Yoko, how's it going? Yeah, exactly, Bed Bunny. Completely different twist, completely new story. Because, I just it's easy to get wrapped up in that part, like it, oh, it's not following the source material, and I get that. I get that we want the truthful or whatever, but at the same time, we have the quote unquote truthful interpretation of the books already. Why not do something different this time around? Well, so again, I'm trying to click on the comment, but it's not going to get popped up because the thing doesn't work. But again, faithful interpretation, I don't think it means necessarily that they're going to stick to the, page to page, word to word. I think it's more about that the essence, like what you're feeling when you're reading the books, right? That mystery, that magic, that, following the story, following the characters, following the plots, discovering magic, discovering new things. That mystery, I feel like that is what they're talking about. That they're having the books. The book did that in their own way. The movies did that in their own different way, right? And so they're taking this whole concept and idea of Harry Potter, and they want to try to, bring that sense of wonder, sense of mystery and magic in the TV series. And by that, I think they mean being faithful, but not necessarily following exactly, to the T, word to word. So I think I just kind of want to welcome that openness about this, because I'll just say this right away. Why also, like, when the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power, it sounds like a Ranger movie. It sounds like a name for like a comic book, Rings of Power. Anyways, when they announced the cast, like, I remember I was so excited. So many people were excited about it. They announced the cast, and there was so much backlash, and there's so much, people were outraged, but only just because of the cast. And it was like, it just like, I hate that it turned into this messy kind of thing where the product didn't matter at all anymore to the audience. And it was just like, people were, I'm not watching this because this, and I'm not watching this because of that, Oh, there's no black elves, there's no black dwarves, there's no stuff like that. And like, oh, come on, just give it a shot. Why being so obtuse about it? And so, like, let the story play the magic for it, and judge the actual performance, whether that is good or not. So I really don't want the Harry Potter to be the same thing. And it's not because like, oh, but it's their fault that they cast like that. No, I think it's just up to us to kind of have an open mind going into this, and seeing, like, going on the ride of the vision that the creators of this are trying to give us, and then judging based on that later, Well, hold on, Jeremy. The characters did not they did pass away in the story, but the actors, that's the thing. Like, it's important to trying to, actors, an actor, he did the performance, and his performance or her will be there forever. We have their performances. They did their job, and their legacy will remain there untouched, So, and that's what I'm trying to say, that the TV series are not going to try to match the actors that portrayed the characters. They're not going to try to match that or try to be as close as possible to that, They will be doing their own thing. And and honestly, that's what I would want them to be. Well, I don't think well, again, misleading or not, like, as long as they are continuous with it, I don't think it's going to be misleading. Casting a different, actor for this role might bring something different to the character. Yeah, the original actor for Snape passed away. Like, half of the cast has passed away, especially the faculty, the Hogwarts cast. But the actors did. The characters and, their work is still there. By casting different actors for the roles that they also played is not, I don't think it's any way touching or trying to touch their legacy. Now, another thing, like talking about, is it going to flop? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? That is not going to be it's going to boil down to the writing and, of course, the performance. But it's going to boil down to the writing. Even actors with not like the best Oscar-worthy and nomination-worthy performances can do a decent job with good writing. Because I don't think some of the actors from the movies were actually good actors, or their performances were fine at best. But it was still more or less working, because of the writing, because of the direction. And that's another thing. Like Snape, these are fantasy characters. Like the creators are taking their own fantasy spin on this. Anyways, but let's take a look at the actors. And I mean, I totally understand that, like, okay, it doesn't match. It's a different cast. Oh, let's see. Let me switch to this. So what do we got here? Just give me a second. Sorry. I'm calibrating stuff. Oh, why is that there? Hold on. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Slight difficulty. Sorry. Okay, so, all right. Just give me a second. Just bear with me. Bam. All right, cool. Now, since I don't, you guys seeing this, I'm going to pull up the shot right here. Well, all right. So the first actor we have is John Lithgow, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I believe I remember him seeing in Interstellar, but let's take a look. You guys familiar with him, with his work? I think he also played Churchill in, what's his face? In The Crown. Dexter? Okay, I haven't watched Dexter. All right, let's see movies and shows. John Lithgow. Am I saying that right? Right? Lithgow. So we've got Conclave, Third Rock from the Sun, Dexter. Here we go. He played in Shrek. Wait, who did he play in Shrek? Oh, he was the king. Lord Farquaad. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, there we go. Interstellar. So, and I think based on what I've seen, like he's because he kind of even Interstellar, he's this like scientist, low key mad a little bit. So I think it tips into Dumbledore's realm of a little bit of the craziness as Dumbledore is, you know. I think it will be interesting to see. I think we might see a bit more fun, so to say, Dumbledore. I think they're all, Michael Gambon and Richard Harris did great jobs at doing that. Their Dumbledores were different. I want to say, even though when I was as a kid watching, going from first movies to the second, I didn't wait, how? Well, I didn't recognize that there were different actors at first. He was Dark Knight. Let's see. He was in Footloose. He's been in a lot of things. The Crown, there you go. I wouldn't see him. Okay. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Interesting. Pet Cemetery. Wait, that was a remake. I remember watching that. Okay. Oh, well, he'll probably have makeup, hair and makeup will be at work here as well. So Blowout, Twilight Zone, what? Yeah, this is going to be Dumbledore. Professor Dumbledore. John Lithgow. Then we have Janet McTeer. So I have not. I believe I've seen her briefly, but even looking at the features, I think she kind of in some capacity, but she looked like a much younger McGonagall. And we've seen her, I believe, in Ozark. Yes, she plays in Ozark. She's in the Woman in Black with Daniel Radcliffe. Hello. Wait, who did she play? Mrs. Daly. No, not Woman in Black images. Her. The Menu Chaos, Albert Nobbs, Me Before You. Haven't seen those. But you can, if you watched Ozark, you probably know her from there. She does look too young, so here's another kind of deviation a little bit. Because McGonagall, she was there for a while. She was almost as old as Dumbledore. Right? Wait, how old is... How old is Professor McGonagall? In Harry Potter, she's 56. Really? Okay. I would think she was much older than that. Yeah, see? Yeah, because she's that young. She's a 90. That makes more sense. right? Because just however in the Fantastic Beasts timeline, she's depicted as teaching in 1930s. So just since she could be around 90 or older in yeah. You know? Okay. And I can totally see her doing that. Wait. Yeah, I'm much younger, but she can definitely have that strict personality as McGonagall has. And also the flip side. Also, like on one hand, she's this tough, well put, organized, disciplined, character. But she does have a very small side of her that is, that is warm and motherly. But I think it will be interesting to see her play McGonagall. But of course, makeup, that will also come in factor and will change and probably age up her a little bit more than she looks in real life. In the menu? Wait a second. Have I seen this? That looks familiar. It's on Hulu. Guys, we have Hulu. Check that out. Good scores. Okay. Okay. What? Joe, what logic are you trying to present here? Okay. Next up, we have Paapa Essiedu, Severus Snape. And of course, it's obvious that he doesn't necessarily match the pale skin and crooked nose description in the book, but he will be our Snape in the TV series. And I personally, I remember him only from Black Mirror. And I don't know if you guys seen Black Mirror. He was in the episode with when the demon was telling things to the lady to kill and do stuff. He was amazing, guys. He was a breath of fresh air. He was like a nice relief in all that thing. And so based on that, of course, it's not going to be exactly that character in there, but I think he can definitely pull a different side of Snape as an actor. Yes, he doesn't match full descriptions. At this point, it's not about, like, I don't think there is a point. There should be a point about being angry about it and being, it's about outrageous. Yes, they made a step away. They made a choice. But he was cast for a reason, And so instead of just stitching like, oh, I'm so angry about it, he doesn't match Alan Rickman. He doesn't match that. It does not. But give him a shot. He was cast for a reason. Whether it's bring a new take to bring some other side of Snape in the story that we don't see right now. So who knows? Who knows how it's going to be? Let's just have an open mind and judge later on the performance, not exactly by right now by the characteristics and just physical descriptions of the character, of the actor. You know what I'm saying? Just simply give him a shot. Just like, just my whole point is that let's not turn this into the Rings of Power again by simply being super outraged about a fictional character. Anyways, he was on the Lazarus Project. If you guys have seen, if you want to check those things out, where you can see. But the Black Mirror, oh, that's such a good episode. I don't think the characters are necessarily going to look racist. Like, we know that the story is not about the race in the story. You know, it was James being a bully, literally. And in that sense, he could have been bullied to anyone. It could look that way, and maybe they want to play something different. Who knows? We'll see how they're gonna twist the whole story there, because just something also important that we haven't seen much of those interactions in the films, but we have seen, like, Harry has seen more memories, you know, of Snape being harassed, and there are more memories out there available in the source material. And so, but they can also they can add scenes like they did in the movies, for example, with the Barrow scene, remember? In Half-Blood Prince, when they burned the Barrow, which it added some tension to the story, but in terms of lore-wise, it didn't necessarily make sense. Just, you know, they're wizards, they can put out fires and stuff like that. Similar issues, house elf? What do you mean? I think we might see Peeves. I think we will see. We might see the storyline of Hermione being, you know, standing up for the rights of the elves. Can I play any video? Let me try. Maybe I can. Well, I don't know how copyright gods are gonna react to that. Me trying to play. That's what I was thinking, to play like an acting reel. Let me see. I wanted to the rest. I tried looking from John Lithgow, an acting reel. I couldn't find necessarily, but maybe on IMDb they usually have. I have an account, but it will take 5 years to log in. Let me see. Maybe. Well, you can see like this. No sound. It automatically plays a little bit. On the very small screen. Wait, what? He's with Melissa McCarthy. Yeah, so again, can we do, Black Mirror? Dude, that was such a good. If you guys haven't seen Black Mirror, you should watch. Just like I love the series. Demon 79 season 6. The trailer for that specific one doesn't seem like. But let me see. Do they have? They're just pictures. But he was amazing in there. Like, it brings me memories of Sarah. There you go. That was a great. This is great too. A great trailer for that. So it will be a different Snape for sure. It will not be, I want to say, Paapa Essiedu trying to replicate Alan Rickman's Snape. That is not what we're going to be seeing at all. Even if it would have been a different actor, none of the actors are going to try to replicate what other actors have already done in the movies. Period. None. Because that's not the actor's job to mimic. Every actor is a different person from every other actor. And they're going to bring themselves into the roles. And that's what you do as an actor. And so we will be seeing a different Snape. And if the casting directors and the writers, what's the name? Francesca Gardiner, the showrunner, alongside Mark Millard, Paul J.K. Rowling, David Heyman, they are on the board. They saw something. They decided to go with this actor on a number of factors, and we will only see their idea and their vision once we get the first season on screen, whatever, next year or in 2 years. I think next year, that's too soon, but maybe the holiday season, that maybe not necessarily. If they're already narrowing down the cast right now, it looks like the script is probably ready, then probably, 2020, end of 2026, possibly with a delay into 2027. That's a good timeline for when we can probably see it. Doesn't take too long to edit a season of TV series, unlike making a game. So, where I was going with this, I forgot a little bit, but briefly for a second. So basically, that's what I'm saying. Let's not judge the Snape that is going to be in the TV series right now before we've seen what they're going to bring to us. Okay. Let's just start this over. Google. Let's move on. Or unless you have any other questions. Sorry, I've been missing some chats. But that's the thing. Here's another thing, Jeremy. It's not like the TV series is only for us, the fans. I think another factor that we have to consider is that the reason for making the TV series is to get the new generations on board with this IP. I think that's also the bottom line, and I'm kind of not centered. Okay. Because one way or the other, yes, as parents out there, they show movies to their kids, but the new generations, they like to mostly watch stuff that is today, new, etc. And sometimes when you watch stuff, even watching the first two movies, they're old. They're done in a more older fashion, older way. It doesn't mean it's bad, but it means, the camera movement, performances, the choice of shots, everything was different. It doesn't mean bad. It's just different. And we were used to those things. And the kids that are growing up right now, they're getting used to new stuff. So they're bringing the story into the new medium, right? So, and again, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you really want in the TV series just exact copy of the same thing that you've already seen? You already know how the outcome. You watched Harry Potter movies 100 times. You know it by heart. You can draw every single shot from the movie, probably if you could draw. Do you really want to see the exactly same thing again in the TV series format? You can always rewatch the movies. Like that's another thing. Like I would rather also see a brand new story in the Wizarding world done in a really good way and in the series, but that's a different thing. So given that we're going to be seeing the exactly same story, I'd rather to be a really fresh new take with a brand new vision from the, to bring out different aspects of the story to the light. So, yeah. Just like let it happen. Like it's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. Well, yeah, just like, but it's just me. It's of course I cannot change your mind if you're angry about it. You're angry about it, but like where I'm in my as myself, where I'm in life, I'm like I like to explore different stuff. I like to explore, have different experiences and you know do things that expand the sense of reality in the not sense of reality, but like I like to explore things. I like it goes to food, to movies, to music, anything. And so having an open mind about even things like this, it's just kind of it's easier. It's easier to exist and take things and enjoy them because when it comes to anything, there's so many things that you can get disappointed about. And at the end of the day, you're just robbing yourself out of the joy of enjoying the things that you could enjoy, but that's just me. And that's my point. But yeah. Conjoined twins will play Fluffy. We'll see. Or a two-butted goat. And that's another thing. Like, like for example, we already have that. Like, I don't know if everyone have seen the Cursed Child. For example, Hermione there is played by Black actress. There you go. I've seen the show. I have totally forgot about that fact at all. In the beginning, they introduced Hermione, and I took her as Hermione for the entirety of the show. And she did her job. Yes, she didn't look like Emma Watson at all, but she played Hermione, and she did it well. I was paying attention to the whole story, to what was going on. It's really like, again, in 2025, it's time. It's time to not be having these big, intense responses to casting, to diversity casting, Let them cook. Let them explore. And again, I repeated it already. We will always have Alan Rickman's Snape. We will always have, Michael Gambon's Dumbledore, which is my favorite Dumbledore. Some people is Richard Harris's Dumbledore, but mine was Michael Gambon's. He was more active and vivid and whatever. Others thought that he's too active and whatever. He's supposed to be more grounded. I thought so differ. I beg to differ. Right? Like, for example, Ginny, I was not buying her Bonnie's representation, but I think it was more the direction that was given, that was portrayed. The direction was given to portray her like that, to be more self-put. But Ginny, from the books, I remember being a firebolt, a fire crab, kind of like the mom, Mrs. Weasley. What's her name? No. What's the name Oh my god, I'm blanking right now. I forgot. What's her name? Molly. Molly Weasley, right? So she was more, I thought she would be more fiery, and she was kind of going there in the Chamber of Secrets, but then the direction of her being just like kind of there and being very, you know, and then very subtly she did show those signs in Half-Blood Prince, which were a bit odd. But, you know, so I did not agree with Ginny's portrayal in the movies at all. Matilda. Matilda Weasley. Pretty sure they could have an auntie with name Matilda. You know. Hermione herself, for example, the descriptions in the books, she also has the teeth, and her hair is super bushy, and it's not like Emma Watson doesn't have that. Anyways, let's move on to the next actor, Nick Frost. So I think this image also, we don't know who's Ron. So we don't have the trio yet. This is the first 6 actors, the big roles that we know that are now set. They are going to be the actors. They're going to be portraying these characters in the series. That's what we know. That has been announced yesterday by Max himself, basically by Warner Brothers. What is misleading? Okay, what is the problem? Okay, Nick Frost. Is going to be our Hagrid. And I don't believe I've seen him, but I've seen some clips, and it looks like we're going to have a different Hagrid as well. Well, it's going to be a familiar Hagrid in regards he's going to be warm and charming, but I think he's going to be more fast, if that makes sense. Not fast. Okay, let's see. Anyways, he was Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead. Okay, I guess it's a parody. I haven't seen that. It wasn't How to Train a Dragon. The live. Oh, okay. So we can hear him. Black Cab. I haven't seen him. Yeah, in any of this. Let's see. Meow, 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 meow. Again, music, copyrights. I'm not playing that. What are we looking at here? But there's a trailer for the movie. I'm not sure what this is. A voice check for Nick? Yeah, let's see. When he appears, maybe we'll do that. He's playing the Jabba or that elephant. You know what? He might as well can do that. Anyway, so yeah, I think we're gonna have also like a funnier, snappier, Hagrid. Okay, I think Frost is the elephant. Just like, but like even through some images and the characters these actors are playing, the characters don't define the actors, but again, those actors are cast for those specific roles for a reason, usually because they bring the right personality, the right mood, the right everything to the character. And so, with an idea that they can, interpret it in a unique way. Not because, like, if someone, I'm pretty sure there was also actors that were looking for someone that represents more of a character or the actor that was played in the movies. But yeah, again, I haven't seen him anywhere. But this is the filmography here, and you can check these projects out for yourself. Okay, let's get back a little bit. Anyways, Nick Frost. And I did hear good things about him in general. Okay, next up we have Luke Thallon, which is known to be a more theater actor than a screen actor. Oops. And he's going to be playing Quirrell, which is going to happen basically only for one season. And he's been known for playing just a couple of movies, but mostly theater performances. So on IMDb, we're not going to see those. He's been playing Hamlet, a lot of Shakespeare works, and based on certain pictures and images from those performances, he does seem like he will be bringing that malicious side of Quirrell. Basically a two-sided kind of personality, you know? So that's going to be our Quirrell. And lastly, we have, because it allows only 5 images, we also have Argus Filch, who looks like will stay with us until the very end. We have Paul Whitehouse. You know, Filch, he is there, always there, just trying to clean the mess. And Paul Whitehouse is going to be... He actually was in Prisoner of Azkaban? What? Who did he play as? Interesting. Wait, who? Hold on, I want to see the whole cast. Paul Whitehouse, Sir Cadogan. Oh, he was the portrait. He's Sir Cadogan. Interesting. No, no one is going to be recast. Well, not unless something may hugely changes. Because I mean, it's not unknown that the characters in the movies have been recast for different reasons. Either inability to continue or death, unfortunately, and stuff like that. So things can change throughout, but I don't think that's going to be happening. It is done. It is set. Interesting. He was Sir Cadogan. Who knows? Based on actually looking at Nick Frost, Paapa Essiedu, their personalities in general, and what roles they have played before, it looks like they are pulling different strings with different characters, and they want to bring not necessarily the comedy, but kind of just in general humor to a different level to make it a bit more relatable in that regard. It was relatable before, but they will have to match the contemporary language we have, even though it's going to be in the past and whatever, but it's going to be series made in our time in 2026s, 7s, etc. Right? So the tone, it will be different from the movies one way or the other. Fiona Shaw, has she been rumored to be cast for anyone? Yeah, we at least have one actor from original cast. Well, again, oh, hi, by the way, Nicholas. That's what I was saying before about faithful adaptation and whatever. I don't think faithful interpretation means they're gonna literally follow every page word by word. As I was saying, when reading the books, you get in a certain sense of curiosity, wonder. You follow in the story, and so their job is to recreate that sense on the screen with every episode. And so I think that faithfulness is what is gonna translate, and regardless of the tone they're trying to bring. Again, it is already done, is already set. Whether it's gonna fail, whether it's gonna be a great performance, a great series, we will know only later. Oh my God. Anyway, so this is our cast. So far, we still don't know who is playing the trio. That anyone can be cast there as well. Just FYI. Exactly. Let the actors play the role. Let them all cook. You have, if you consider the movie's faithful interpretation, whatever that definition is, you will always have that. Let the TV series be their own thing. Like, I don't see the point of being an exact copy paste. Seriously. And I also don't understand why being so frustrated and animated about this, about a fictional character, about something that they're doing. And it's, you know, it's like, what gives? Things can be simpler. Like, why can't we just like say like, oh, a different actor, they're doing something different. Okay. Wow. Not what I expected at all. Absolutely not how I envisioned or how it was described. Okay. Well, all right, let's see what you've got. You know? How do I do this? I'll bring it back here. Well, is it did they though? Like, I don't see why would a show simply fail because they cast a black actor. If they cast poorly in terms of for the performance, maybe yes, and maybe the writing wasn't good, but just because of that, I don't think there's any show that just flopped because of that. Doesn't make any sense. Well, here's another thing. I don't think they're making it also. Well, I don't think the whole point of making the reboot is to cater to the original audience. I don't think so. I think the bigger goal is to get the newer audience on board with this IP, because it's a good chance that the younger generation is simply not watching old Harry Potter movies. I mean, they're not that old. See, another thing, like, they're not that old. Well, the most recent thing is Fantastic Beasts films, and that was not a great representation of this IP at all. So that's the thing. Instead of them trying to do another copy and trying to do another links and try to do something bland, do something different, and, you know, and make that work and make it pop. Well, how do you know it's going to be horrible? How do you know if it's going to flop? They just announced 6 actors. They're going to play the roles. Not a single trailer has been shown. Nothing has been shown. And you're already making a decision about that it's going to flop simply because there is a black actor cast. This doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. But it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, we got to stop with all caps. I'm just going to say, we got to stop with all caps. Yeah, exactly. If they fail, it's going to be on them for a number of reasons. And I will guarantee you, just simply because I keep forgetting, Paapa Essiedu is going to play Snape, I guarantee you it's not going to be that one reason. If the story, if the dialogues, if the scenes, is just the whole writing is not great, if it's boring, if it doesn't connect, it doesn't whatever, then that's going to be the reason. But this single factor will not be the contributor to that. I just because no. Well, not in that scene, but the racial theme, is very present in the Harry Potter story. Are you kidding me? The mudbloods and the purebloods, the elves, the wizards, the one kind and the other beings who are right to be called beings or whatever, or beasts, the centaurs. Are you kidding me? That whole topic is soaked in the whole storyline, and there's a whole lore. So diversity and inclusivity is in Harry Potter's core as part of the story. And so if the new developers found a way to try to bring that part into the series, this is one of them, so be it. Because that factor exists in the actual story, and that problem exists in the actual story. Yeah. Again, I'm just welcoming everyone to go into this with an open mind and see what they have to show. That's all. Because again, it's just like try to. I get it that it's like it's your thing. It's like, but someone else is taking that thing and trying to do their own thing with it. I get it. Sometimes it can feel like frustrated about it, but again, it's not that big a deal. We can all just kind of come down and just accept it and see and go with it in a very relaxed way, and it's just going to be easier. What scene would I like to see in the books? I definitely want to see more Voldemort's memories. That's for sure. I definitely want to see. Oh wow, got earplugs. I haven't been in a band practice in a while. I still have this in my pocket. Wow. Okay. Anyways, what I was saying, yeah, scenes. Yeah, I also have to reread the books. I haven't read them in so long, but yeah, definitely more memories of Voldemort. I want to see the storyline in Half-Blood Prince specifically. That fight between Ron and Hermione that was going on, and the reasons why Ron even kissed that, I forgot her name, Lavanda, whatever, just this whole, that it was just like so much vibrancy also in the books, and a lot of dynamic that was happening, a lot was happening at the same time. And then in the books it was not there. In books, in the movies it was not really there. Yeah. Yes, we got to see more Peeves. We got to see not just more. We just got to see Peeves. Period. We got to see elves. We got to see the kitchens. Another question is, are they going to use the same models of Hogwarts, or will they build a brand new rendition of Hogwarts? Because keep in mind, even if they do, the way Hogwarts was like first drawn doesn't match, but by JK, what does not match at all how it looks in the movies or how it was interpreted by the artists. But yeah, that's a question. Yes, Nicholas. Have a good night. I'll catch you later. Hogwarts Legacy Hogwarts. That would be interesting. I mean, see, that's the thing. Like, they'll have to build new sets, and if they make another version, they'll have to have two different versions of Hogwarts in the theme parks. That's a lot of work. Well, I feel like maybe exterior silhouette, because the silhouette is so iconic. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they do. Like the first teaser has the OG castle. Well, the OG castle from the Deathly Hallows version, right? Ideally, like I do like. Well, I think they will definitely expand the inside looks. There will definitely be new sets inside. Um, I guess they will. I feel like it will be like a blend of the old silhouette, old look, but with some new renditions that will fit better the story, because it always goes about what are they telling, what they're showing specifically, which scenes they're showing, and then they gotta have the sets, right? They gotta have the locations where things happen, and then they kind of connect them, so to say. That's why we saw evolution of Hogwarts in the movies, because you know, things were not happening in other parts of the castle in the first movie. So even like the clock tower didn't really exist up until the Prisoner of Azkaban, and then things, and even the cloistered courtyard, it was completely enclosed, right? Like the front one. Um, but then, yeah, amount of Quidditch. But again, so the best part, it's like, is that we will get much more air time per each book, right? We have a movie, we have only like an hour and a half for one book. Now we're going to have about like 4 to 5 hours plus, depending on how long each episode will be, per single book. There's so much they can show. And so I think that's more exciting in general. Wait. Yes. Yes, Joe. Well, we'll see that for sure. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, nostalgic or not nostalgic. Um, yeah. Well, see, that's another thing. Can they do it in a nostalgic way? I think the music will also play the part, and the atmosphere. I guess it has it, in some way, but it will be hard to do, because usually it will be through music mostly, I think. We'll see. We'll see how it works. Wait, what? What are you talking about, Jeremy? Spew? What's that? Hey, Dylan, how's it going? Oh, there you go, there you go, there you go. Yes, yes, yes. Well, that's what I was talking about. Yes, the story about her standing up against for the rights of the elves. Exactly. Yes, we need that. Um, there's some. Also, I remember like a lot the whole developments. So many like cool scenes. Like I remember one in the Goblet of Fire where Harry was using the his dad's what's it called cloak in the school, and he was like trapped somewhere, and Moody like saw him. He could see, he knew that he was there, almost. Like I remember that interesting scene. Like, so it kind of debunks the idea that the cloak really disguises you, like lets you be invisible from anything, from everything, including death. But yet, you know, we had a similar moment. We had a similar moment with Dumbledore, right? In the Chamber of Secrets, where he looked at them and like, ha 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 ha. I know where you, like, you know. Yeah, it's it's good. We're having a heated up debate. I'll put it at that, which is fine. Again, debates are totally welcome, and it's fine to have one. Oh, the secret of the egg. Okay, yeah, there you go. I gotta read that. Dumbledore is built different. He's a cyborg. Yes, support Crow. I would just thought about that same scene. The opening scene of Half-Blood Prince or Deathly Hallows. I don't remember. No, the Deathly Hallows opened with a different scene. It was Snape arriving to the Malfoy's manor. Or no. Yes, probably. Hold on. So yes, the minister scene. So like, it was just like that was a cool scene. Like the meeting like years before, like that current time of the sixth book, and things getting worse and worse, and the minister getting more like frustrated, and like things are just crumbling, things are getting like just bad. That was such a good opener. Such a great opener. Also, hold on, going back even to the first book, there's so much more happening in the beginning before Harry goes to Hogwarts. There's much more going on, kind of. What do you so ideally, to answer a question just a name, I mean, I would love some either parallel or spin-off series where they explore different parts of the wizarding world and different stories. Kind of like Fantastic Beasts, but maybe going in the future. I will just say that Fantastic Beasts didn't fail because it was Fantastic Beasts specifically. It was not good writing, and that's that. And it still has a place to be. I still watch those movies and I geek out about them. But yeah, just better writing could be great. Oh no, no, no. So based on that, I think we will see Hogwarts. Well, yeah, I think we will not see Hogwarts in the first episode either. It's got to be like episode 2 or 3. Or maybe teased somehow in the ending of the because I don't know how they're gonna go about it. They're gonna try to create like a cliffhanger at the end of each episode. I mean, in some capacity they will have to, right? So you can binge watch it. support Crow, depending on which one was okay. So the first one was all right. The second one was, I don't know about okay. Well, it was okay. And then the third one was not okay. But that's just me. Avalanche taking inspiration from, yeah, I mean, well, it will happen one way or the other. There will, what the series creates, it will have an influence on the future projects of either their games or whatever, you know. It won't go unnoticed. Yeah. Well, again, it depends on how they build things, how they build the story, what scenes they bring in there, and and then also the how you call that, the chemistry between the actors as well also play a role in there. Because good writing keeps you watching right away, whatever the topic kind of is, whatever the plot is. But it's tough to do. It's a difficult thing to do, and we'll see how it goes. What do you mean? See, that's what I was thinking too. Well, I think we're gonna have the new cast from like the kids, but that's what I was thinking. It would be interesting to sometimes have episodes where we have someone else's perspective completely. Some shows do that, but it's a completely very different show. But in, for example, Bob's Burgers, I don't know if anyone watches you. They always have the perspectives of these characters, so to say. But then I love now they're making, if you know Rudy, they made Rudy's episodes or perspective from the eyes of, you know, so I love that. Just like Tina's perspective, or, you know, so I think that would be really cool to see, like a full episode from the eyes of Snape, for example, or maybe a flashback, or from Ron's perspective completely. 8 episodes in the season. Let me see. I think that was. Hold on. I'm just. What's the expected length of Harry Potter TV series? So it will be 10 seasons. 10 seasons. There will be 10 seasons. Wow. So maybe certain books will be spread across multiple seasons. So they're all going to be blending into each other. I mean, Deathly Hallows, there's definitely 2 seasons for Deathly Hallows, I think. No? No. Well, maybe this dude is wrong. That's what I said. 10 years. Not 10. Are you sure not 10 seasons? Well, that's what the Google AI right now is telling me. The Harry Potter TV series the Harry Potter TV series on HBO Max will be a 10-year journey adapting the 7 main books into a series of 10 seasons, which with each season focusing on one book. Dude, you're not making sense here. You're not making any sense here. Hang on. Because there's only 7 books. So if they actually want to do 10 seasons, could run. I don't see definitive answer. December 24. Hold on, March. Deadline. What does deadline know? I know it doesn't add up, but like I feel like if they are gonna do that, then it means go away. Hold on. I'm scanning. Yes, look, for those who say Fantastic Beasts could be leveraged to provide what? This new Max original series will dive deep into each of the iconic books that fans have continued to enjoy for all these years, blah, 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 which also assured fans will be a faithful adaptation. We already talked about this, what I think faithful adaptation really means. But moving on, early reports had each season of the series focusing on one book in the Harry Potter book series, which consists of 7 novels. But Blois said the project would run for 10 consecutive years, which would seem to defy the one season, one book's assertion. For those who say Fantastic Beasts could be leveraged to provide 10 seasons over 10 years, WD Brass said specifically during the announcement that Fantastic Beasts will not be part of the series. Not that the Fantastic Beasts, the story. Whatever no, but like this is whoever interprets this. They said the show is gonna run for 10 years, but doesn't mean every year, we will get every season. You know what I'm saying? I think that's misinterpretation of this. I don't think the show will run from 10 consecutive years. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, you're right. It's not 10 seasons. It's not confirmed that it's 10 seasons. Sometimes, for example, the Rings of Power, we did had a break. We had a year. We have a year break. Basically. So sometimes they're going to be closer to each other. Sometimes they'll take longer. Look at Stranger Things, right? Sometimes the seasons would come out more or less consistently year after year, but then for more heavy lifting stuff, so to say, they take longer. That's normal, I think. But guys, let's remember what Dumbledore once said. All we must do is choose what to do with the time that is given to us. And let's not spend this time in the positivity and in good faith, and let them create what they have to create and see what happens. If it's great, great, fantastic. They made a great show. And yeah, if it doesn't and it flops, well, oh well, they're going to learn from their mistakes. So that's that. One way or the other, we're going to get a new look, a new fresh look, new vision of the series of the Harry Potter books. And it's cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end on that note. Guys, I'll try to stream again, maybe either again this week or next week. I want to play something. I want to check out some more new mods. But see, I think that's what they're doing. I didn't play him talking because well, in the trailers, again, I don't want to play the music, and or any sound, because sound is the first thing you get copyrighted for. It just looks like that they're going to be bringing a different Snape, not completely different, still the same Snape, same character, same storyline, but it's going to be a different dimension of him. That we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. Again, sorry that I had technical difficulties here today, but thank you guys for hanging out and discussing this important topic. But guys, you have great rest of your week. We're still in the beginning of it. We'll wait until when we have news about the rest of the cast. We'll of course talk about it as well. And meanwhile, just don't forget to be nice to each other and have fun in your life. Oh yeah, about reaction, we'll get to that later. Well, I'll have to learn those laws as well. But guys, again, thank you for hanging out. I'll get to work, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Make sure, guys, you don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and all the other buttons of that nature. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Wait, huh?